שירו לאדוני, שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני.
Rabbi Chaim of Tzantz used to tell the tale. There was a man wandering in the forest, lost and alone for several days, until he encountered another. "My brother, my friend, show me the way out." The man replied, "I can only tell you this. The ways that I have tried lead nowhere. They've led me astray, but come, take my hand. Let's look for the way together." And so, searching for the road home, knowing they could not get there alone, but strengthened by their meeting, they continued forward, hand in hand. So it is with us, Reb Chaim would add. When we go alone and apart our own separate way, we can easily be led astray, which is why we, or I say, join us this Shabbos morning with full intention and open heart. If you're with us on live stream, we want you to fully participate as well. Here in the Wolf Sanctuary, I invite you to turn off your cell phone or at least put it on vibrate so that you can be fully present and join us in this communal moment. Share in congregational readings and every melody, join the cantor in singing whether you know the words perfectly or not. Witness Tyler as he leads us in worship and shares his Torah truths, and join us and take the opportunity for silent seeking and meditation. So you can join us as well in blessing and song and spirit. When we go it alone, we're lost. But this Shabbat, we can begin to make our way back to holiness and share in the simcha together. We begin our service on page 78, praising God for the gift of body and soul. Elohai neshama shenatata bi tahorahi, my God, the soul you have given me is pure. We turn to page 83 as we make ready for our Shabbos morning together, setting our intentions for our morning of prayer and for the week ahead. We read responsively. As I awaken, let this be my thought. May my day be filled with acts of loving kindness. Let me be drawn to learning and discernment, and may my actions be shaped by mitzvot.
Keep me from iniquity, disgrace, and sin. May I not be overwhelmed by temptation or despair.
Distance me from evil people and false friends. Let me cultivate a life of goodness.
May my hands reach out in kindness, and I will serve God through acts of righteousness.
Today and every day, may I merit your mercy by living my life with compassion and love.
Holy One of blessing, draw me to your words. Teach me the art of sacred living.
Baruch atah Adonai, hamelamed chasadim tovim le'amo Yisrael. We turn to page 106 as we rise for Chatzi Kaddish and remain standing through the Shema.
Yitzkadav yitkadash shemei rabba, amen. Ve'almad yivrach chirtei, ve'amniach malchotei, v'chayachon v'yamechon v'chayirecho beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'zeman kariv, v'yimeru, amen. Yehi shmei rabba mevorach, le'olam olam me'amaya, yitbarach, yitbarach v'yishtabach, yitbar v'yitomam v'yitnaseh, Vitador, vitala, Shemeir Kudasha, Brichud, Leila min kol bechata v'sheata, Tush bechata v'rachemata, Damiron be'olema, V'meru Amen.
We turn to page 108 for the Baruch Hu, and it's my pleasure to call upon our bar mitzvah, Tyler Ethan Jacobson, to lead us in the next portion of our worship service.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorah, Baruch Adonai HaMevorah le'olam vad. We continue on page 110. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, yotzer or uvorei choshe, oseh shalom uvorei et takol, hameir la'aretz v'ladarim alecha barachamim, uvtivo mechadesh b'chol yom tamid, ma'aseh v'reishit. Ma rabu me'asaha Adonai, kulam behokma asita, Bara aretz kinyanecha, tit barach Adonai Eloheinu, al shalach ma'aseh yadecha, ve'al me'orei or she'asita, yifa'arucha sela, or hadash al Sion ta'ir, v'nizkeh hulanu mehera l'oro, Baruch atah Adonai, hamotzer hame'oro. We continue in the middle of page 113. Love your neighbor as yourself, you said. In light blinded we saw that inner and outer worlds are one, as you are one. You spoke and we wrote. We reached down for you, down the centuries, your light moving before us. As we climbed, fell back, and climbed again, your Sinai of life. Baruch atah Adonai, haboher be'amo Yisrael be'ahava. We continue on page 114. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Vad. Please be seated. We continue together on page 116. Ve'afta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol vavcha v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher Anochi metzabecha Hayom alevavecha, veshinantam levanecha, v'divartam bam, v'shivtecha b'vetecha, uvlechtecha v'atere, uv'shochbecha v'kumecha, ukshartam leot hayadecha, v'chayu totafot ben einecha, uv'tavtam, Al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha lema tishkaru ve'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'iten kedoshim Elohem ani Adonai Elohem asher hotzeiti etem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lahem lelohim Ani Adonai Elohem. Amen. We continue on the top of page 121. Vayomer Adonai. Wait, what? Oh, wait. Okay, sorry. Emet, there is no place where you are not. Even in the wilderness, there is your word. Emet, that pen strokes of lightning, black fire, white flame. Stir the soul's passion, guide our sacred way, true and enduring indeed. True truth for us is certain and established, now and forevermore, like Moses, Miriam, and all Israel. We sing out and rejoice. We continue with the Amidah on page 124. Please rise. Adonai Sephatai Tiftaf Ufi Agita Hilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotinu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rahel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol, HaGibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Hasadin Tovim, V'Kanei Hakol, Bezoher Hatzei Havot V'Imahot, Umevi Gula Liknei B'neihem, Leman Shemo V'Ahava, Melech Hozer U'Mashiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Abraham V'Ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mehaye HaKol Atara Roshia, Morid HaTal, Mehalkel Hayim Bechesed, Mehaye HaKol Berachamim Ramim, Somech Noflim Verofe Holim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Ba'al Gevurot, Umido Melech, Melech Memit, Umekayem, Umatmiah Yeshua, B'ne'eman Natal Chachayot HaKol. Baruch atah Adonai, Magnayeh HaKol.
Nekadesh et Shemcha ba'olam, Keshem shemakdishim oto b'shmei maro, Kakatu ayad neviecha, V'kara zel ze ve'amar.
ברכה,
ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש, ושכחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש, לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
Please be seated. We continue on page 132, singing Yismehu, as we praise God for the gift of Shabbat. We continue in the middle of page 137. On this holy Shabbat, may we draw nearer to life, to peace, and to joy. May we find true rest, holiness in our deeds, worth in our study of Torah. Let us feed on the love of goodness. Let us drink from the love of goodness. Restrain our thirst for excess, and cleanse our hearts to serve life well. On this holy Shabbat, may we draw nearer in life, in peace, and in joy. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otcha levadcha ve'yirah na'avod. We acknowledge with thanks that you are Adonai, our God, and the God of our ancestors, forever. You are the rock of our lives, and the shield of our salvation in every generation. Let us thank you and praise you for our lives which are in your hand, for our souls which are in your care, for your miracles that we experience every day, and for your wondrous deeds and favors at every time of day, evening, morning, and noon. O good one, whose mercies never end, O compassionate one, whose kindness never fails, we forever put our hope on you. For all these things, O Soren, Let your name be forever praised and blessed. O God, our Redeemer and Helper, let all who live affirm you and praise your name in truth. Blessed are you, Adonai. Your name is goodness, and you are worthy of thanksgiving. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha elucha na'eh lechodot.
Sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, tova uveracha. Sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, tova uveracha. Ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 sim 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 shalom sim 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 shalom sim 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 shalom tova uveracha.
Together, grant peace, goodness, and blessing, grace, kindness, and mercy to us and to all your people, Israel. Bless us, our Creator, all of us together, light of your presence. Surely through the light of your presence, Adonai, our God, you gave us a Torah of life, the love of kindness, justice, and blessing, mercy, life, and peace. May your peace bless your people Israel at all time, every hour, with your peace. Praised are you, Adonai, who blesses your people Israel with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, hamavarech et amo Yisrael bashalom.
Having prayed for peace in our world, we think of those who face the future not fully whole, those who are in need of healing, of mind, of body, and of spirit. We think of them and whisper their names aloud now. Misha Barach can be found on page 253.
Please take a moment now for your own silent meditation.
Oseh shalom bimroma Yaseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael V'imru Amen. Yaseh Shalom Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael Yaseh Shalom Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael.
Seder Kriyat Torah, service for the reading of Torah, page 245. Assemble the people, men, women, and children, and the strangers in your cities to hear, to learn, to revere Adonai your God, to observe faithfully the words of this Torah. And let their children who do not yet know it hear, that they too may learn to revere Adonai your God. As we prepare to open the ark and take out our sacred scrolls, I call upon the generations of Tyler's family to join us on the bima, to stand with him in his generational ceremony in the chain of tradition, along with Tyler and his parents, Art and Lori. I call on his grandparents, Ron and Rosie, and April to join us, and to open the ark, his Aunt Claire Jacobson, and also I'd like to call up cousin Frank Moskowitz, who will be carrying our Torah for the Hakafah. I'd ask the congregation to please rise.
Ein kamocha v'Elohim Adonai, ve'ein k'ma'asecha, malchutcha malchut kol olamim, u'memeshaltecha b'chol dor v'dor. Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai yimloch le'olam v'ed, Adonai oz le'amo yitin, Adonai yevarech et amo v'shalom.
Torah tziva lanu Moshe marashat kihilat Yaakov. This is the Torah given by God to Moses, the inheritance of the congregation of Israel. Tyler. No, stay there. Go there. Okay. At Mount Sinai, God gave the gift of Torah to Moses, who shared it with the people of Israel. In his time, Moses passed Torah down to Joshua, who passed Torah down to the elders, who passed Torah down to the prophets, who cried the truths within those sacred scrolls out loud for everyone to hear. The prophets passed Torah down to the Anshe Knesset HaGedolah, the men of the Great Assembly, and they passed Torah down to the rabbis. The rabbis spent their lives also stepping into those ancient teachings, looking at those words to find modern meaning to make it relevant to the people of their own day. And it is that tradition that enables us to stand here with the generations of your family and pass Torah down to you, ancient and modern, all at the same time. And just as God gave that gift of Torah to the people of Israel as a gift of everlasting love, so too do the generations of your family overflow with love and pride as they make ready to pass Torah down to you. And so our Torah goes midor lador, from generation to generation.
This scroll is the secret of our people's life from Sinai until now. Its teaching is love and justice, goodness and hope. Freedom is its gift to all who treasure it.
Baruch Shanatan Torah, Torah. Baruch Shanatan Torah, Torah. Le'amo Yisrael, b'kedusha This week we read from Parashat Ha'azinu. The bulk of this portion is a poem recited by Moses. Moses begins by praising God and the special care God has given to the Israelites. And in response, the people have spurned God's laws, and because of their unfaithfulness, they will suffer God's wrath. But in the end, God will show mercy to the Israelites. Moses urges the people to take his warning seriously, and that following God's laws is no small matter. At the end of this portion, God tells Moses that he will die on Mount Nebo. Tyler will read from the beginning of this poem, Deuteronomy chapter 32, verses 1 through 20. You can follow along in your service supplement, I think. Is it in there?
I think
It's unclear.
yes.
It's in there, so you can follow along.
If you didn't get it, it's on.
If you didn't get one, there are copies on the table up here. It's my pleasure to invite for the first Aliyah, Tyler's aunt and uncle, Scott and Tracy Grosfeld.
Hu et Adonai Hamavarach. Baruch Adonai. Baruch Adonai. Baruch Elam Vaed. Thank you. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bahar banu mikol hamim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Va'adabera, v'tishma haaretz imrei fi. Ya'arof kamatar likhe. Tizal katal imrati. Kis irim ale deshe, v'hirvivim ale esev. Ki shem Adonai akra, havu godel lelohenu. Hatzur tamim po'olo. Ki chol derachav mishpat. El emuna v'en avel. Tzadik v'yashar hu. Give ear, O heavens, let me speak. Let the earth hear the words I utter. May my discourse come down as the rain, my speech distill as the dew, like showers on young growth, like droplets on the grass. For the name of the Eternal I proclaim, to give glory to our God, the rock, whose deeds are perfect. Yea, all God's ways are just, a faithful God, never false, true, upright indeed.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'hayei olam nata b'tohenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
For the honor of the second Aliyah, it's my pleasure to invite Tyler's uncles, Edward and Ben Jacobson.
Baruch Adonai Hamavarach. Baruch Adonai Hamavarach le'olam vaed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Shichet lo banav muman. Dor ikesh uftaltol. Hale Adonai tigmelu zot. Am naval v'lo chacham. Halo hu avicha kanecha. Hu ascha vaycho nenecha. Zechor imot olam. Binu shinot dor vador. She'al avicha ve'agedecha. Zekenecha ve'amru lach. V'chanhel elyon goyim behafrido b'nei adam. Yatsev givulot amim l'mispar b'nei Yisrael. Children unworthy, that crooked, perverse generation. Their baseness has played God false. Do you thus requite the Eternal, O dull and witness people? Is he not the Father, the Father who created you, fashioned you, and made you endure? Remember the days of the old. Ask your parent, who will inform you, your elders, who will tell you. When the Most High gave their nations their home and set the divisions of human race, God fixed the boundaries of peoples in relation to Israel's numbers.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam notah b'tocheinu. Baruch atah Adonai notein haTorah. Nice job, young man.
For the third Aliyah, it's my pleasure to invite Tyler's grandparents, Ron and Rosie Levin.
Baruch et Adonai HaMorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaMorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol hayamim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai notein haTorah.
Ki chelek Adonai amo, Yaakov chevel nachaleto, im sa'ehu be'eretz midbar, uvetohu yileo yishimon, yisovevenhu, yivonanehu, yitzranhu, kishon eno. Kenesher ya'ir kino al gozalav, yirachef, yifros, kenafav, yika'ehu, yisa'ehu al evrato. For the Eternal's portion is this people. Jacob, God's own allotment, God found him in a desert region, in an empty, howling waste. And God angered them, watched over them, guarded them as the pupil of God's eye. Like an eagle who rouses its nestlings, gliding down to his young, so did God spread wings and take them, bear them along in his pinions.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei notah b'tocheinu. Baruch atah Adonai notein haTorah.
It's an honor to invite Tyler's parents, Art and Lori Jacobson, for the honor of the fourth Aliyah.
Baruch Adonai HaMorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaMorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai notein haTorah.
Adonai badad yalchenu, ve'en imo el nechar. Yarkivehu al bamotei aretz, vayochal tinuvot sadai, vayanikehu devash misela, veshemen mehalmish, sur, chemat, bakar, bachalev, sun, im, chelev, karim, ve'elim, vashan, va'atudim, im, chelev, kiliot, kita, v'dam, tishte, hamer. The Eternal alone did guide them, no alien God alongside. God set him atop the highlands to feast on the yield of the earth, nursing them with the honey from the crag and oil from the flinty rock, curd of kine and milk from flocks, and the best of lambs, and rams of Bashan, and he-goats, the very finest wheat. And foaming grape blood was your drink.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'hayei olam nata b'tohenu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
The final aliyah we reserve for our bar mitzvah. Ya'amod Aharon Noam ben Abraham v'David Ashira, habachur habar mitzvah.
Baruch atah Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai Barak Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Vayishman Yeshurun Vayinat Shemanta Avita Kasita Vayitosh Eloha Asahu Vaynabel Sur Yeshurato Yak Niuhu Bizarim Beto Avot Yachisuhu Yizbechu Lashadim Lo Eloha Elohim Lo Yidaum Hadashim Vikarov Ba'u Lo Sha'arum Avotechem Sur Yiladcha Tisha V'Tishcha El Mecholelecha Vayar Adonai Vayinat Mikaas Banav Uvnotav Vayomer Astira Fanai Mahem Ere Ma Acharitam Ki Dor Tahabuchot Hema Banim Lo Emun Bam. So the Yeshurun grew fat and kicked. You grew fat and gross and coarse. They forsook the God who made him, and spurned the rock of their support. They incensed God with alien things, vexed God with abominations. They sacrificed to demons, no gods, gods they had never known, new ones who came but lately, who stirred not your forebears' fears. You neglected the rock that begot you, forgot the God who brought you forth. The Eternal saw and was vexed. God said, I will hide my countenance from them, and see how they fare in the end, for they are a treacherous breed, children with no loyalty in them. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen. This concludes our reading of Torah, and it's my pleasure to invite Tyler's cousin, Braden Grossfeld, who's going to lift the Torah, and his brother, Caden, and his cousin, Sydney Grossfeld, who are going to dress the Torah. Please rise.
Baruch
My Torah portion, Ha'azinu, is about Moses' last day of his life. He is leading the Jews to the land Canaan, the promised land. During this time, God says to Moses, he would lead the Jews to the land of Canaan, but he may not enter. He can climb up Mount Nebo and see Israel from only a distance. The Israelites are turning away from God, and Moses tells them, do not turn away from God, and also says to remember the days of the old. Ask your elders and fathers about God's teachings. Moses says, before you go to the land of Canaan, be sure to honor the teachings of God and follow them. I decided to focus on the part of my Torah portion that explores why we as Jewish people should remember history. Rashi, a medieval French rabbi and commentator of the Talmud, was known for his ability to present clear and comprehensive commentary. Rashi explains that it was essential to one's study in one's history because it promotes the knowledge of our past and future and God's power. Rashi says we cannot appreciate or understand justice and peace without knowing all the bad parts in history and those when peace was not present. I agree with Rashi because we cannot be happy without knowing all the bad parts of life that have occurred throughout history. Even people who've made bad mistakes can have a change of heart by learning from their mistakes in the past. If we want a peaceful world and life, it can only happen if we learn about our past when peace was not there. An example of how this relates to us today is the Russian invasion of Ukraine. This is an example of not learning from our history and the importance of having a peaceful world. For example, the Holocaust, a murder of 6 million Jews by Hitler and the Nazi Party. Other countries were too slow to intervene, which could have saved countless lives. We as Jews know we need to act faster and step up for the innocent Ukrainian citizens who want to just live life in a peaceful country of their own. Becoming a bar mitzvah is essential to me because I can now fully participate in all the Jewish rituals. However, because I've never done this before, I asked my Uncle Scott and Grandpa. They said they felt a sense of accomplishment because they worked so hard and felt connected to other generations of Jews who had completed their bar mitzvahs as well. For these same reasons, I'm excited to become a bar mitzvah. I would like to thank my Hebrew tutor Hagid for helping me read out of the Torah and for encouraging me when even it was tough. She would always say, practice, 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 and again, until I get it right. For all my Sunday school teachers and Hebrew school teachers over the years, especially Mrs. Kerman, my 5th grade Hebrew teacher, you encouraged me to continue my Jewish journey. I worked with her over Zoom during COVID. When it was hard to see my grandparents, she acted like a grandma to me. Rabbi Jurgen, for helping me with my Devar Torah. She helped me understand my portion and think about it from today's perspective. Rabbi Nathan, for helping me pick and understand my Torah portion, as well as guiding me over the years. Cantor Berlin, for helping me get the tune of the prayers and pronunciation right. My entire extended family, for giving me unconditional love that I needed to complete my bar mitzvah. My grandparents, for their unconditional love, and for always supporting me sometimes. Caden, even though you are a huge pain, you are my best friend and the best brother an annoying 13-year-old brother can have. My parents, for always encouraging me to keep going even when times get rough. Thank you for putting me up every day, especially so early in the morning at like 4 a.m. Lastly, I would like to thank everyone from the bottom of my heart for supporting me and coming to my bar mitzvah. I would especially like to thank family and friends who drove and flew in from out of town during the crazy pandemic. Shabbat Shalom.
So our tradition teaches the world stands on 3 pillars, the pillars of Torah, Avodah, and Gemilut Chasadim, of study, of prayer or spiritual seeking, and acts of loving kindness. So Tyler has just fulfilled 2 of those pillars already. He both read and taught Torah beautifully. He also led us in worship with grace and panache. Yeah?
I think so.
Yeah. And now it's time for him to fulfill that third pillar of acts of loving kindness. At Temple Beth-El, we don't read a traditional Haftarah. Instead, we ask our B'nai Mitzvah to choose a prophetic quote that speaks to them. Most of those quotes are actually here in our sanctuary on the stained glass windows. They are the core values of the founders of our congregation. And so in picking one of those, Tyler not only connects to the prophetic tradition of our faith, but also to the generations that came before him. He'll share in his traditional Haftarah blessings and then share with us his prophetic perspective.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar b'nvi'im tovim v'ratza v'divrehem anemarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai asher bachar u'noshev avdo v'Yisrael amo u'v'nvi'ei ha'emet v'tzedek. For my prophetic text, I chose Isaiah 2, chapter 2, verse 4, because it talks about God and nations at war. This is so common these days. The prophetic text says, "Thus God will judge among them, the nations, and arbitrate for the many peoples, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not take up sword against nation. They shall never know again war." Unfortunately, there have been a lot of wars in the past 100 years, such as World War II, the Vietnam War, wars in Iraq, Afghanistan, the Coastal War, the First Gulf War, the Ukrainian War, World War I. I don't like wars because many innocent lives are lost or ruined. This verse spoke to me because my dad was deployed to Afghanistan for a year when I was only 6. He went there to help the Afghan army, police, and citizens fight the terrorists called the Taliban. The year my dad was deployed affected me because I didn't have a dad to play sports with, help me with schoolwork, and half the time take me to Spurs games. And most of all, I miss talking to him and being with him. This text connected to my mitzvah project because without remembering history, we are doomed to repeat itself over and over again, and our worst wars and mistakes again and again. So I decided to have a fundraiser for books for the Holocaust Memorial Museum of San Antonio. The museum loans out educational trunks that allow teachers to teach students about the Holocaust and Holocaust history in order to expand their knowledge, increase their sensitivity to others, and develop critical thinking skills. The museum doesn't have enough books and trunks to loan out to schools this year throughout San Antonio. Therefore, I am collecting books for them about Holocaust from August until Texas Holocaust Memorial Month in January. I am also planning to present at my school, which I already have done, San Antonio Academy, and about the experiences of my great-grandma Rachel Cobbin, a Holocaust survivor. She was the only one in her family to survive. She was interviewed by the Shoah Foundation, founded by Steven Spielberg, to videotape and preserve interviews with survivors and other witnesses of the Holocaust. Sharing her story will hopefully help people never to forget. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam sur chol haolamim tzadik v'yasher hu ha'el ha'ne'eman va'omer v'oseh ha'madaber u'mekayeh lehavod u'letifaret al hakol al Torah al va'odah v'nvi'im elyon ha'shabbat hazeh Shanatata lanu Adonai Eloheinu Likdusha v'limnuha lehavod u'letifaret al hakol Adonai Eloheinu anachnu modim la umechlim ota yitbarach shefi kol hai tamid le'olam va'ed Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat.
those of you who could not hear, my whole family keeps saying, "Mom, no ugly tears." They're so concerned. Tyler, congratulations on reaching this important milestone. Your voice in this sanctuary was so beautiful. I'm so proud of all your hard work and commitment to learning your Torah portion and to your mitzvah quest. As your mom, I feel so blessed to have a front seat as I continue to watch you grow. I was going through the wishes and prayers that we set forth at your naming, and I was struck by how much our wishes and dreams are coming true for you. When you were just 7 days old, all of our friends and family, we stood together to pledge that we will be your community. And today, as you become a bar mitzvah, all our friends and family, we reaffirm that pledge. That you be blessed with a love of life and laughter, a sense of family and community. That you are blessed with an adventurous spirit, the ability to cherish the unusual and the commonplace, a love of dogs, Saturday golf, Sunday football, your mother's palate and your father's appetite. Abe's and Skyline chili dogs, which we are still working on, and of course, Grader's ice cream. As you move into the next chapter of your life, may the values of our faith continue to guide you. May your compassion, your humanity, and tzedakah continue to grow. For the last 4 summers, I have watched you wake up early and spend the day helping to coach younger swimmers on your swim team. This past summer, I watched you during a swim meet, I'm not gonna cry, jump in the water when a younger child was afraid to get in. And you stood in front of him the whole time, encouraging him and cheering him on as he swam across the pool. I'm not? Okay. You have always wanted to help people, as demonstrated by multiple Teacher Helper Awards and Biggest Heart Awards, and being a mentor and buddy to younger boys at your school, even making an ABC word chart for your school buddy to help him learn to read at Hawthorne. Your love of animals and desire to adopt every dog and cat in need of rescuing is sweet, though not gonna happen. And just a tip, cuddling and loving on animals, it's very heartwarming. But if you really want us to continue to add animals to our family, try walking them. It goes a long way to helping us out.
Aw.
May you continue to lead by example with courage and humility. Tyler, your kindness, your inclusiveness, your boldness, your bravery, they are an inspiration. Whenever someone feels left out, you bring them into the group. When someone is needed to be a leader, you volunteer. And you have little to no fear. For when you were little was a little bit scary for us, and it definitely kept us on our toes. And the fact that you don't take yourself too seriously and will do anything for a laugh, it actually just brightens our lives. May your sense of social justice and repairing the world continue to grow. Tyler, you have always stood up for others, and you have a strong moral compass. Whether it's talking about the war in Ukraine, women's rights, you watch the news, you ask questions, and you share your views. This is also evident in what you chose for your mitzvah project to help San Antonio Holocaust Museum send out free education trunks to local schools that teach about the Holocaust and the importance of not letting history repeat itself. You stood in front of your entire school to present your project, and you created a school-wide book drive. And during your presentation, you asked everyone if they knew what the Holocaust was. And you explained to them why we need to learn about our history, and you shared your great-grandma Rachel's story of survival. Even though you never met her, you continue to talk about her experience and also knowing how much it means to us. Tyler, may you journey through life with wisdom and kindness. Learn the ability to pick up clothes and clean your room, and be grounded in the knowledge that you are loved and that you will continue to grow and do wondrous things. I'm so grateful to be your mom.
Since your mother has a happy talent for composition and a remarkable felicity of expression, I am going to keep this short.
Thank you.
First off, congratulations. You did an awesome job leading services this morning. We are so proud of you. Even more so, we're proud of the young man you are becoming. You are most of the time a great big brother, but you're always kind, generous, and adventurous.
I remember one of the first times we went to Colorado, your mother looked at me and said, I want to go do the ropes course. And I said, no way, no how, don't even look at me. And without even batting an eye, you jumped up and said, I'll go do it. And I mouthed to your mom that you didn't see, there's no way he's gonna do it. And you went right up the mountain and you attacked the course. You saved me from a day of misery. And you proved to us how brave you were. Now that you've become a bar mitzvah, and you will officially become a teenager on Tuesday, your mother and I are looking forward to a couple things. Number one, we are looking forward to you waking up and getting dressed for school on your own. We are also excited for you to start doing your homework and finishing without being told. And most of all, we're excited for you to start sleeping in on Saturdays. But seriously, we are incredibly proud of you. We couldn't be more ecstatic for everything that you've done in the last year, and we're happy to be your parents. Congratulations, Mazel Tov.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for keeping it short.
Beautiful words of blessing. We make ready to return Torah to the Ark on page 256. It's my pleasure to call on Melissa Bittner to open our Ark, and I'd ask the congregation to please rise. Y'all may be seated. Stay here. That's all right.
No, it's not bad.
How you doing? Good, he's good. Huggy, I'm fixing that just for you. It's good. All right, you should feel great because you just did all the stuff, right? You led the congregation, you read Torah, you taught Torah, and you were totally your own Tyler self. Yeah? Yeah, which is what I hope for you throughout your life, that no matter where you go and what you do, that you hold on to the essence of who you are. Your Torah portion, Ha'azinu, it's not the easiest Torah portion in the world. We are getting very close to the end of Torah, just the second to last Torah portion in our cycle. These are the last words that Moses shares with the people of Israel, and he is both happy and sad, right? That he is not going to be able to continue on the journey with them. And so he offers some pretty stern warnings about what's going to happen if they don't do the right thing. But you focused in on probably the best verse in all of the Parsha, which is focused on remembering what our ancestors experienced, what they learned as the way to know how to move forward, right? And thinking about your parents and their lives and journeys, and your grandparents and your great-grandparents, all the people who came before you, your great-grandmother who's a Holocaust survivor, you get to understand, as you said in your drash, that there are both good times and bad times. There are happy occasions and sad occasions. And yet, we have to go through all of them, and hopefully we learn from all of them too. Because it's by going through those things that we become stronger and more resilient, and we understand how we can be there for other people. So whether it's jumping in the pool, like your mom said, to help a little kid who's scared of the water, right? Or teaching other kids your own age or even some grown-ups about how important the Holocaust is, being true to who you are and making sure that that Tylerness connects you to the people who came before you is just an essential part of what is needed to be a successful person in this world. We just finished the High Holidays, a time where we both celebrate the new year and also think back to the ways we've acted and think about how we can be a better person. And I know that you, Tyler, are thinking always about how you can be your best self, how you can be the best, how did you say it, the most best annoying 13-year-old brother that you could possibly be. Where is he? Where is he? Okay, there you go. Is he right? Yeah. Okay. But also how to be a great friend, how to be a wonderful son and a wonderful grandson and all those things, right? You live your life full-hearted, full of body and energy, right? And spirit every single day. I hope that you never forget to listen, ha'azinu, right? But also hear, shema, tishma, with your heart, not just your mind, and see that the people around you love you, support you, and are so proud of you every single day. So at this moment of poignant blessing, I'm going to invite your mom and dad to join you in front of the ark with Cantor Berlin, Rabbi Jurgen, and myself as we share in the priestly benediction, Birkat Kohanim. I'd ask the congregation to please rise.
Yivrachecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May God bless you and keep you.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'choneka.
May God deal kindly with you and be gracious unto you.
Yisai Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
May God's radiant presence shine upon you, Tyler, granting you life's choicest blessings of health, wholeness, happiness, lots of family love, and peace. Amen.
You may be seated, except for Tyler. All right. So when we met to talk about your mitzvah project, there were so many things that you wanted to do. But I love that not only have you helped the Holocaust Memorial Museum, but you have some people here from Federation, from the Holocaust Memorial Museum, supporting you today, which I love. And we asked you, or we told you in the president's room that today was going to be the fastest bar mitzvah you've ever been to. It was fast, right? Because you're making it happen. You know what you need to do. You know when you need to tell people to stand and sit down and turn the page, and you rocked it. So in case Tuesday, when you're focused on your 13th birthday, and you're like, I can't believe I actually had my bar mitzvah, we have a certificate here signed by all of us that says, yep, it happened. We were all here. We know, right? So you have that as a reminder. We also give you from North American Federation of Temple Youth a gift certificate to help get you on a trip to Israel. And when you go through confirmation, Temple Beth-El will match that so you can have that experience of being there with your friends. From our sisterhood, we give you this Tanakh with your name on it. You can never lose it. Just kidding, right? And this will be with you forever so that you can learn these teachings just like you talked about in your Devar Torah, about the importance of these teachings and keeping them just like Moses was telling the Israelites, right? Making sure we remember them. We also have from Brotherhood these candlesticks and Kiddush cup so that you can continue on the traditions for your own self within your house. When you leave, when you go to college, when you have your own family, you can remember that you got these at your bar mitzvah and have these as a place to remember Temple Beth-El and this very moment. From Yachad, our religious school parents group, we give you a tzedakah box, whether it be helping animals, not adopting them, but helping them, right? Or if it's to continue to get money so that you can help places like the Holocaust Memorial Museum. I know that you will put this to wonderful use. So you have to stay standing because now we are moving to Aleinu, which is on page 283. And I call up family friend Dina Valdez to help with our ark. And I ask the congregation to please rise.
לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שהוא שם חלקנו לייחד את שמו, וגור עלינו להמליך מלכותו. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני
You may be seated. Our memorial meditation can be found on page 291. It is hard to sing of oneness when the world is not complete, when those who once brought wholeness to our life have gone, and naught but memory can fill the emptiness their passing leaves behind. But memory can tell us only what we were, in company with those we loved. It cannot help us find what each of us, alone, must now become. Yet no one is really alone. Those who live no more echo still within our thoughts and words, and what they did is part of what we have become. We do best homage to our dead when we live our lives more fully, even in the shadow of our loss. For each of our lives is worth the life of the whole world, and each one is the breath of the ultimate one. In affirming the one, we affirm the worth of each one, whose life, now ended, brought us closer to the source of life, in whose unity no one is alone, and every life finds purpose. Our thoughts turn now to those in our community and extended community who have died at this time in years past. As we mark their yard sites, we remember them. Samuel Abrams, Fred Battle, Robert Benedict, Faye Berger, Kay Butnick Berger, Rosalie Brenner, Carl Berg, Claire Burnett, Charles Seth Chandler, Louis Cintron Sr., Louis Estman, Nicholas Farnett, Ruth Friedberg, Fanny Friedman, Aaron Gernsbacher, Hyman W. Glovinsky, Irving Goldberg, Dr. Samuel J. Goldhaber, Manny Goldsmith, Don Halstead, Helen Jacobson, Rabbi Isaac Jaffa, Frank Kelsaw, Fritz Lauber, Irving Lauber, Jeanette Lavis, Leon W. Lehman, Morton Leifer, Clementina Lieja, Betty Levine, Herbert Levy, Leo Felix Lichten, Rivian Cookie Donzis Markey, Modena Gentry Marshall, Ethel S. May, Robert W. Meals, Ethel Weinberg Meyer, Lucille Newhouse, Frank Olton, Norma Conring Parker, Jack Perloff, Lena Peters, Barry Ream, Jean Charlac Ritterband, Dr. Richard Rodkin, Molly Rodkin, Catherine Rosenman, Berta Rosenthal, William Patrick Rudd, Dr. Edwin Salzman, Gerald Schifrin, Goldie Stein, Steve Sterling, Michael Lee Strickland, Florence Temkin, Shirley Whitkin, and Francis Frankie Wolf. We also think of one who has been laid to rest in the past month, whose family is in a mourning period of Shloshim. We remember Robert Bobby Gerwitz. We also think of those who have been buried this past week, whose families are in a mourning period of Shiva. We remember Dahlia Temple Pagan, sister of Christiana and Carl Brown, aunt of Celine Scatton, Erica Brown, Jasmine Tobias, and Tatiana Brown. We also remember Adele Rosso, mother of Lynn and Louis Barnett, David and Derry Rosso, and BJ and Denise Rosso, grandmother of Stephen and Annie, Taryn and Tyler, Jill, Lisa and Bill, and Stephen and Courtney, and great-grandmother of 7 grandchildren. We also remember Irving Poncho Greenblum, brother of Leo Greenblum. At this sacred hour, Tyler's family particularly remembers Arthur Ashton, Mary Ashton, Edward Jacobson, Francis Jacobson, Marshall Jacobson, Harry Kopman, Rachel Kopman, Natalie Levin, and Saul Levin. To all of these names, we add those which are in our hearts each and every day as we turn to page 294, Rising as One Community for Kaddish Yatom. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon u'vyomechon u'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru, amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam ulmei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei d'kudasha b'richu, La'ela min kol berchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel, to which we say, Amen.
Our closing song is Ein Keloheinu on page 322. I would like to call up, along with Art and Lori and Tyler, his grandparents Ron and Rosie Levin, as well as April Jacobson, Tracy and Scott Grossfeld, Edward and Claire Jacobson, and Ben Jacobson for Kiddush and Motzi.
Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen.
Amen. Takes it.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lehem min haaretz
Te'avon. Zeh hayom asah Adonai nagila v'nismech avo. This is the day that God has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.